For those of you who've done mushrooms, it's like the oneness kind of Christ consciousness coming from.
Yeah.
But with the blood of Christ.
That one's a big one, the blood.
Afterwards, from your own show, if you open for like Bill Burr.
Really?
Because he's a ripper like you, and he spits the facts of like blue collar life. Like you would crush a Bill Burr audience.
And welcome back to another episode of Ellevan Wins Podcast.
I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie.
And today,
legendary comedian, actor, clown, changemaker, advocate, fucking Canadian legend.
Hilarious.
Just like inspiring woman.
Bright light of Toronto.
Yeah. And and you've seen her recently on Law and Order. Please welcome to the show, Sandra Battaglini.
Okay, you know what I want to say? What I thought was amazing.
Give it to an image to give praise, glory, and hard times and struggle, to be able to relinquish this to Jesus or God. This is an action I see worthy of personifying.
Yeah, and I think it's just like, we're just in this like, what is this guy that I listened to call it?
Bashar.
No, it's what does he say? But it's like, right now because of the age that we're in, we can personify it, but really it's just Christ just showed us like what's possible, and it's like the Christ consciousness, like the crown chakra.
Yes, the universe, the guidance,
and so like people are like, oh, Jesus Christ, and it's like, yeah, bro, listen to what this guy says. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and then he does say the number one thing Jesus said is like, we're not separate, we're not different. First of all, the Father and I, him and God, also Jesus and you, meaning like the same idea of being able to hold the vision. FBI knows it as patterning. Floofy millennials know it as manifestating. And like people who will know it as just mental affirmation, controlling your mind movie to manifest what you want. Jesus been telling you, I heal people this way.
Amen.
Yeah, there's this verse, I hope I could say it right, but it's what I've been meditating on. It's like, therefore we have a high priest, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who ascended into heaven. Therefore, and we don't have a high priest who doesn't empathize with us, for he was tempted in every way like we are, but he didn't sin. So therefore, let's go to the throne of God with confidence, so that our prayers can be answered.
God bless. And I love
I mean, I think of the last part, I messed up some of the words, but it just always relaxes you. That's what I was like. There's something about it just relaxing you, because like.
I agree with you, and I want to zone in on the idea of a very important word you said called sin, because a lot of people think sin is just like jerking off. Sin is not believing in yourself. Sin is doubting your best outcome. Sin is not using your time here to believe in the best version. When you let the devil take over in your mind, you're in fear, you're in worry, you're in anxiety, you think you're not good enough. It's about the you. It's not like people get real turned off by that sin word, because they're like, jaywalking, I'm going to go to hell. It's like, no, the sin of life, meaning not to live. Yeah. To allow fear not to let you live. That's a sin. Yeah. I don't know.
Can I confess something to you guys?
Yes.
Because a couple weeks ago I was live streaming with you, and I was like, I've been saying that like God is great, and like
God is great.
Yeah, with you. And but then like right after that conversation, I started getting re-triggered by all of these like men that are turning to God right now. I don't know if you noticed that, but like on my timeline, it's like there's a lot of men who are like, I've found Jesus and I am like saved, right? But then they start like picking at the things that I don't like about religion, which is like, gay people aren't cool or whatever, and like all of these things, and putting these weird judgments in my area, and I got triggered again, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna back off on this God stuff.
Now, is it men that are like in the public eye, or men
both?
Right.
But mostly men that I know.
Who are in the public eye.
At first I was like, fuck yeah, go get God. But then I was like, but now you're talking about all these evils in this world. Like you're talking about weird shit. Just because someone
confesses something doesn't mean they'll live by it. Ralphie, you need to fucking
chill out, bro. Just be gentle.
I know what you mean. Like
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Like it's
And I don't. Something that I'm working on this year is not judging people because I'm a judgy little bitch.
Yeah, you're very
It's
judgy.
crazy. You
Should
wouldn't.
get
I
into
don't think you'd
gossip.
think it from me, but like I am. So I'm trying not to judge people, and then I'm like, oh well, I'm judging these fucking guys right now.
right. And there is something. Yeah, there is something, especially in like Christian religions, like the. Not especially, but well, actually, not a lot of the religions. But you're like, I'm with you until you start like going off on the gays, and
Or like trying to like manage what like someone else's belief system is. I think that's where you lose me.
Yeah, I agree. Because that's not Jesus. That's not Christ consciousness.
Doesn't feel godly in my body.
But
Like-
then you're judging them, allowing that energy to manifest in your body. So
Yeah.
you're leaving yourself for something else, critiquing them, doing the same thing they're doing to gays. They're the gays for you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, we love the gays.
So it's really my problem, isn't it?
I think so. You're
Yeah.
stuck in a cycle of water cooler talk. That's
Like,
I think you give a big. Sorry.
Yeah.
go ahead.
No. Like I go see this pastor, who's he's phenomenal. Like, and it's, but in the church, like I remember when I really started to go more, he was, it was a couple of times where there was like this. I don't want to say it's anti-gay, but it would be perceived such.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Right, and then I was like mad, and then I guess I didn't go for a couple of weeks. And then when I go back, it was all about, being able to talk to people even if you don't agree with them, and it was so amazing. It was like, yeah, you know what? I forgive.
Good idea.
I forgive him for what he's saying. Maybe he's not like. There's something in the way that maybe he communicates it that might seem to
Make
be
sure he's
not right, and I don't like it, but like. It's yeah. Anyways,
that makes sense. Just like I think that's going to heal the world actually, like being able to disagree with someone and then still like be respectful
yeah.
and cordial.
That's been our shit. That's the only compliment I'm kidding. We get a lot of compliments.
I think a lot of people are working on that skill right now.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think people want to do that again because it used to be more that way. It's just in the past it was like shut your mouth and like don't have a conversation about it, But
Yeah.
now it can be like, oh, maybe we can have like a respectful dialogue around our differences. And if it goes south, let's just focus on our similarities.
But you know what also too? Like all we're doing is fucking having conversations.
You know what?
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like in the first, whatever this world is, first, I hate these numerations, but you know what I mean? It's like we get to have conversations because we get to have podcasts.
Over and over.
And it's like, yes, and it's good. It's like it's almost, it's obviously necessary, these tools to get us to the next phase, but it's like, it's pretty wild what we spend time on.
Here's what I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
sure.
true.
I agree. Like all this over conversating and expanding it may be a little bit in the wrong direction if we don't know where to control the line between where our emotions were anyway
Yeah.
and what the actual details of the situation are. Like if you're going to come talk to me about like some sort of social justice, I want to know if you are okay. Have you been meditating, sleeping well, eating well? Am I dealing with a mentally healthy person? Because now the details you bring forward, I don't know. Because I know sometimes I make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah,
So it's very
all the time.
untrustworthy. Like to just
Yeah.
banter and think you're going to find closure.
Right.
Nuts.
And on paper, when you're like, especially because we're in social media age, someone writing something down, you're like, you're wrong, and I'm this, and this whole Palestine-Israel thing is like dividing people right down the middle. And
There's
people-
Holy.
you can't
always
even-
something. You get the COVID, you get the vaccine, you get the
I
thing,
know.
and something always too, and then the Ukrainian thing, and now this.
But you see how they just do it? They just do it this way. This is their game.
They keep the division. It's fucked.
That's what we have to get out of. We have to get out of that matrix. Like,
Yep.
I saw this video. I should send it to you. But basically, I can't stop thinking about it. So the guy, he does a video, and apparently he disappeared after it. But he said, he's like, when you eat the fruit, and you interact with nature, it like energizes the DNA inside of you.
Yeah.
Like it raises your spirit. He goes that right now it's like in our world everything's a square.
Yep. The
He's
black
like,
square. Everything's a black square. Black rock.
Like, yeah, it's like there's the grid on top of nature. He's like, so that's why we're sick, because they've imposed this like natural grid.
You need to
This
have
is like your
curvature.
phone is a square. That light is a square. Your towels are square.
This screen is a square.
So when you like when you were saying like
Holy fuck,
content
this
is
pillow.
always going to be there, no, because we're going to get out of the square and we're going to go somewhere else. And I'm not saying that people are not going to like obviously entertain each other or have that, but this square is bad. Yeah. I'm bad because of like. You're just in this square and you're perceiving a whole lot of shit in a fucking square, and they figured it out. They figured it out to make to get the squares to reduce the square so small that people literally people are just this. This is crazy.
It is totally. I can feel it when I'm doing it. I can feel like my life force like being sucked out of me, and I'm like turning into like a zombie. And I'm when I have that awareness, I'm like, okay, you have 3 more minutes or whatever, and then I don't even stop it right away. I'm like, I'm addicted. I'm gonna give myself another little hit of this,
another ice
but then
cream.
I'm gonna put it away. It is wild. The owner of our space, his son, was on the podcast. And he was like, I'm very sure it's designed to kill us.
Yeah.
And I was just
yeah.
shit.
Because like it's the same mentality, like, I don't know, it was like however many years ago that the corporations, I saw this guy talk about it, and he was like, their goal was to attack your pineal gland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do it through
Fluoride.
Yeah,
Water.
and they do it through the media. They do it through medications, vaccines, heavy metals that calcify the pineal gland. So you can't really see what's going on.
Right.
So here's something that can help, and you'll find context in this, like how you understand that this square is, for lack of a better word, bad. For some businesses, a necessary evil. Entertainer is one of them right now, but you're right, we'll evolve out of it. I've been doing something every day, hugging trees.
Oh, I go to the tree all the time.
So you get it. So you can feel, first of all, most humans, and I live a pretty luxurious life. Like as far as most humans' stress level goes, I'm a very sensitive boy, so I like to just like keep myself in a good space. But as soon as I go to that tree, I have a ball of anxiety that it eats.
It eats.
You feel it, right?
Oh my God! Like
It eats it.
Yeah. Like we don't need an MRI machine.
Right.
We don't need these machines that are using like bad energy waves to like find a disease, and then they're
creating it and
creating
amplifying it.
Yes.
And then you're gonna have someone that you trust in a fucking square tie tell you after assess an affirmation in your mind that you're sick. They're gonna give you a diagnosis. Diagnosis. So then you know it. Okay, so you're with the tree, you're hugging the tree, it eats the anxiety. That takes, could take your average 9 to 5 10 minutes. It takes me about 2 minutes because I fucking am blessed. Okay, so let's accept my privilege.
But you've definitely gone for longer. I've just been like, this motherfucker, I'm trying to get home.
Winnie's not
So
really
when he
into
just
it
stops
as
and
much.
goes to the tree?
Yeah.
Well, on your watch? That's amazing.
On anyone's watch.
Yeah, it's so
Anytime
good,
I'm
yeah.
somewhere, it's if I'm in pain. So I go give it to the tree, So I let it eat it, and then something else happens. And I learned this from my friend Universe, is your body and the tree end up sharing like this homeostasis pattern together where there's like this energy going back and forth, and it starts to like up your cells. So it not only takes the red hard pain away, but a tree starts to bring your cells to like when you watch water boil. It starts to bring your body raises, and after that I'm like, whatever. You know?
Like I go to the tree, and like so a couple weeks ago I was very like panicked because I had no money. Everything was negative. I had nothing coming. I was like freaked the fuck out. So I go to the tree. I always ask the tree like, what do you like? Tell me like what's the message today? And as I'm asking for money, I'm like, oh my God, you're the thing that we make the money from.
Yes, you're everything. Trees
Which
are everything.
Already is terrible that we cut this thing. You know that
To make the idea of square money.
Is it still tree?
I think. Well, yeah, it's paper.
No, it's not
like
now.
a plastic or
Canadian
something.
money's plastic.
But I'm But there's that Cree prophecy that said
Started as paper.
because it's called paper.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Right.
Give me that paper.
Yeah.
But it's like that Cree prophecy that says, when every tree is cut down and the last fish is eaten, you'll realize you can't eat money.
Oh my God.
That's where it's coming to. Because what? Like that's what I was saying in this interview yesterday for this research thing, that was just like, this algorithm, you know, like it's not. Everybody's obsessed with this algorithm now, and that's all they're going after for, like, you know, comedians. Like, I'm followers and the content, and it's like it's just still a junk machine,
dude.
It's just making junk,
and it's also stocks. It's just moved over. It's stocks. It's social equity stocks, and like you pump your energy into it. And you'll see what hits people's mind. You'll see if your heart can translate to the mind. That's like what it's good for as a tool, like for function. Because I can like write a skit and it can like translate to people's minds, and it doesn't hit my heart. But like so it's another game. It's the mind game, like the square. But to your point about the that Cree, like the once the fish is gone, it's like, as someone who's been paid to cook for billionaires. It doesn't matter. Like, you have a bank account full of money, and I'm like, you know, not that right now, but this food in my hands is so valuable. So,
it's so
we
amazing.
gotta learn to have that in our hearts, not to chase money so hard, have enough to live and feel comfortable.
Can't chase it.
But then also, yeah, exactly. But then also it's like, can we work for collaborative barter? Can we get more out of, like, as a community, society, each other without turning to the dollar, right? Like, we have to
that's
feel
where it was.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. I'm like, if all of it was already here, you know, the trees, the fruit, the water, then who's the guy that's charging me for this fucking water? Who's this guy?
I can't buy water anymore.
Oh, but you know, you still pay for water when you. I mean, maybe when you guys, maybe if you rent, but like you own a house, you have to pay for water.
Yeah, it's wild.
Do you know what I mean? You're paying for
totally
water.
wild.
And it's like, and that's that, you know, that's what they say, that like, you notice now, like I've been looking for, you know, jobs to supplement my income, which again was like,
I hear you.
Fucks you up, right?
Yeah.
But
Dude, Canada needs to have you on a payroll as a comedic
For real,
contributor
bro.
or something.
you know what I mean? And like, I gotta go look for something outside of my field. Anyways,
No, you should totally
So
just be. God, that's so
it's
nuts.
all online.
Fucking Canada.
And it's like this thing called varsity tutors.
Okay.
It seems interesting. So basically, you know, it's a tutor, right? But I don't even know, like, you don't even know what, like, it's so weird. You're like, what is this thing exactly? They want to interview you, and then but then the interview is literally you doing videos. You have to answer questions. It's all
You're
video.
in the square,
Oh,
bro.
wow.
You're in the square.
You're in the square. You're in the fucking square.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I did do 2 videos, and then they want me to give them a lesson plan. I was like, what?
What are you talking?
Like, I haven't
This is the job already. Fuck off.
Like, what do you?
I want you to send me my first paycheck.
Tell me what we're doing. Like, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, but it's a fucking video. So everything, you know, it's like everything's a lease and a monthly payment. And you know,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know if you've watched the prequels or watched Yellowstone and the prequels to that.
They're gonna own nothing and be happy.
Well, that's what the World Economic Forum, that's their thing. But you see how it evolved and how it all started to happen in those prequels when, you know, all of a sudden somebody's like, oh, we got this washing machine. And the, you know, there's these people, the people that the story's about. It's Harrison Ford and, God, what's her name? Anyways.
Harrison Ford's killing it, eh?
Oh, and you got to watch this show because it's not 1863 and 1923. He's in the 1923
Oh,
one.
okay, yeah, I've seen those.
But
No, I haven't
basically,
seen
they're just like, what? There's a machine that washes clothes? What?
Yo.
Like, they couldn't understand. But the guy was, we will rent this to you, right? So we rent the machine to you, and it's like
Consistent
everything is a fuck. You ever noticed that, like, every time you go online, you got to get a piece of information. It's 99.
subscription, yeah. And just to
Everything.
order, we ordered some stuff like a memory card and a mount and stuff. Like, it was gonna be like $30 shipping and handling, or just join at Prime Premium kind of thing. And like,
Do you see this?
I basically couldn't. My phone got taken over by basically pop-up ads in this fucking thing, making my process that used to be like boom, bada bing, goodbye, got it, thanks. They're like, no, we're gonna need you to like take the and they give you the first month free, and you forget to cancel, and they get you $9.99.
Subscription, though, that's
It
where
works.
all the
That's
money
the business.
is.
That's what
Yeah.
we want. Subscribe.
Yeah, I know, and it's true because we gotta, like, you know, but
Stay in
I
the
know.
square with us.
I know you have to figure out how to not make it gross and
And then
icky.
when you see the people who come up with these systems, you ever watch? Maybe you do, but I follow a couple of really rich people on Instagram.
Cool.
The Rogers family,
Oh yeah.
and you're just like, these people are so fucking rich, and you know they live such like extra ultra rich lives.
You have to when you're super rich.
right?
Because it's
But
a write-off
they,
too.
Yeah, because they create
Spend
the
more.
fucking. They're
thing.
designers of the architect of the system that's impoverishing everybody.
Yep.
And they make it so that it's like more and more. And you can't get out of it. You can't get out of it.
So
and it's like you guys will fucking go around the world into parts of the world that, like, let's be honest, the giraffes don't want to see you. They don't like you. You know what I mean? Like there's Roger's daughter, Ed Roger's daughter just married Zach Longo. I know this is crazy. I follow these people. So they got married and then this massive wedding. Like when they first,
have to. They must.
yeah, when they first, I thought they had gotten married, but it was basically their engagement party, and 50 Cent, they had hired 50 Cent, but she looked like she was wearing a wedding dress. So I followed this whole wedding. I don't know if Zach Longo is related to the Longo family. I've been trying to find this out, but I can't. And I was like, and just recently, like, he's in Monte Carlo and he's wearing his, like, what are those full
Yeah,
suits?
fuck yeah.
And he's sitting in front of a car, and it's like,
come
he's
on.
so rich. Like, they're so rich. Like,
The
I
thing
mean,
is,
they
like,
seem nice, but it's really.
The thing is like they're living in
Gotta
a
live up.
vibration. They went to private school. The people that they went to school with are also part of families that are trillionaires
Yeah.
that you don't even know their name, and they're richer than
Exactly.
these famous rich people.
Exactly.
That's the truth. Is it's a vibrational game. There's nothing stopping any of us from making the moves that they make. Maybe they have the equity to start, but like it's a vibrational thing. And when we observe this and separate ourselves from it, it becomes like that cycle of getting addicted. But like, I
Yeah.
think there's a way for us to win in the square, because comedians, you guys are going to be in the square anyway. Be in it with us. You
Just
know, like,
know that you're in the square. Like the other
Just-
day, I was watching TV, and I looked above the TV while I was watching the picture, and then it just was like, oh, what a nice world.
life world.
This
yes!
square is oppressive.
I had a moment
Yes.
in an Uber when I was like looking down
Stop-
the whole
stop it.
time, and then I like put it away and looked up, and I was like, "Oh, the world."
Yeah.
I don't have Uber. I have a car that's like very on its last legs, but like Uber, all these. Like,
Sorry, Lyft.
I call it all American propaganda.
It is.
I like Uber, all these fucking. It's
Well,
all
it's gonna be
propaganda.
no humans eventually.
But
Like
it
they
also-
already have these self-driving cars. Like
Yeah.
that's where all of that's going.
So let me ask you.
Fully tech,
Let
no
me ask
human
you-
involvement.
Yeah,
Let me ask you both
but
this.
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, maybe in there. Yeah, go.
Uh,
Grr.
So the epitome of like all this that we're saying, right? Like the struggle and the cycle addiction and the BlackRock and the rich families and the poor people and the everything caught in between, right? Like I think it breaks down to cycle habits and addiction. And I notice our own self-sabotage, that we're all stuck in addiction loops that are basically time wasters. Like I have the same 24 hours in my day as Jay-Z. But like he probably earns a few more dollars than me.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to like say like anyone's better or worse, but like in those moments when instead of doing something progressive, you're just checking your email or scrolling, and very defensive about it too. This one, I'm like, what do you do? And she's like, fuck you, you didn't pay your debt in '97. Like
He always
people
catches
get
me
touched.
when I'm just like
Zoning out.
loser scrolling,
And she hates it.
and I hate
And
it.
so I'm just like, but I'm just saying, like, take the moment snapshot. Okay, be mad at me, but take the moment snapshot of what frequency you think your brain is in right now. Okay? Those people on those boats, maybe they're posting that. They don't live there as much as you do. So I say, take your luxuries then. You want to just have a job and not think about what to do creatively? That's your luxury. But now don't have that job, or, and then build a business yourself.
Yeah.
And then tell me the difference between the brain frequency that you're on, and life is fucking, you gotta edit clips while you fucking edit someone else's thing.
For
and then
now.
Suck
For
dick,
now. There
is
suck dick in the nightclub at night. Who knows?
But you
I
know,
don't
the
know.
addictions come from the square configurations that we're in, because
That's true.
Because we're in a thing that
We're in it.
Yeah, we're in this square, and then we're like, oh, I gotta eat that piece of bread. I gotta do this one thing, and it's like it's not an actual, like, you're not following the energy. You know what I mean? You're not
Not being
following the
intuitive.
spirit. You know what I mean? Because when you really think about it, you're like, why am I eating this bad thing right now? Or why am I, doing this
Totally.
bad thing, like it, or that doesn't serve eating something bad. You're like, oh, I'm hungry. Are you really? Are you really hungry?
That's the addiction.
I'm saying, I know this for me.
Yeah.
I bought these croissants because I'm like, but it's like I didn't do it for every podcast, but I was like, oh, you know what? I think I want to make bread a part of I make bread too, a lot, mostly.
I want some of your made.
Yeah,
bread.
I would have, I just got flour, like I always have flour. Anyways, whatever. But I was like, oh, it's nice to share bread, whatever. You know what I mean? But
Bread
like,
is so nice.
but it's like because I have, because I was like, oh, I have some money, I'm gonna buy a few little things, which is nice. And I'm just like, but maybe last week or this week I said to myself, I don't want to buy no more junk. Like I already made these like not promises but declarations like years ago. I was like, I'm not shopping at Zara anymore. I'm not shopping at H&M. But this past week I was like, another level of junk I don't want, because like it's insane the amount of junk that's in our and people they think this is just the way to live.
Well, that's a distraction.
Fucking plastic cups.
It's a distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, life I think is a little bit painful, right? So it's like it's a
suffering, perceived suffering.
We spend money persistently on little things that I call it like trap syndrome. Like my mom loves to go to the dollar store, and I'm like, you got to be a rich person before you get money, and in your mind you got to think about like, this asset is like investing in it, right? But I'm with you. I'll go to the it's like you need to also jerk off sometime. You know what I mean? Like you need to have that weak point. You need to like not fail, but you have to have some of that in your life where it's like H&M like $20 shirt I'm gonna wear twice. Like fine. Like like this is an indulgence. We buy expensive candles. Just like I don't know.
I
It's
think
like you
I
need
think
to make room for
probably
that
if
too,
you
because it's a balance.
If you were truly living intuitively, which I don't know if you can, if you're not like off grid and like you're really outside of today's society.
Yeah, it seems
but
like
if
the
you were
flow.
really living intuitively, I don't think that we would have those urges to go do something. Because I remember like when I was 29, 30, I had just become aware of like this weird shopping habit that I would buy something not worth a lot of money, but it was always when I was feeling low. And
it was
it
like an
never,
exhale.
and it just like distracted me for a second. The same would happen with weed, like I would get high to like numb out instead of like become aware, because you can use it for both things. So I think that just like being more and more aware of what you do when you're not feeling great, and then seeing if there's a habit there.
But I was just thinking like, it's like, because I'm obsessed about this square. It's like I leave my square and I jump around to another square at the Fresh Co. or at the motherfucking Loblaws.
Yep.
So I'm jumping from square to square, dropping my squares, But like, it's
what's a credit card and a debit card?
Eh?
All your cards.
like
Your
what?
passport.
Isn't that fucked?
Buddy.
I want out of the motherfucking square.
We're going to a
I
circle.
really do.
Oh,
And that's the thing. Like we really.
Oh my God.
Like I was even thinking too. Like because I really want land now. But I don't qualify mortgage wise.
the title of this is The Square. With
Yeah,
Sandra.
the square. We're gonna get out of the square. But and it's like I want land. But when I think too about like when I go out to
They're going to sell you a square plot of land.
that too.
Holy fuck.
Even though when you don't you find the minute you are off, it's kind of like what are the points in the GTA when
the
like
grid.
Highway 50, like when you start to go just where the grid is not so much grid, where it's like there's more open space, and then you're like
Towards Barrie.
Barrie, and then Highway 50 or Caledon, all these things, and then
Yeah.
because at the same time, even though it's a grid, like even though you're on plots of land, there's so much more space, there's trees, the animals are moving around, but it's still a plot. It's still a plot.
A plot.
Because
Plot.
God
A
did it.
story. A plot and a story!
This is crazy.
Oh my God! I just yelled. When were we here the last time? Was it like 3
It
years?
was a
My father
long
was still
time
2
alive.
years ago.
My father was still alive. He's not anymore. But I think it
Was
was
he?
just. Yeah.
I think he had passed recently when you were on the
Or
first time.
maybe you're
Yeah.
right. Possibly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't like.
We'll check.
I just remember like I came here. I think I felt I was like running around. I was in a bit of distress.
Yeah. Because
Weather
it was here. So
Oh,
that
yeah,
would have
yeah,
been
yeah.
like maximum 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was about 2.
So I think that like,
You were one of our first here.
yeah.
We didn't even intro you. We just got.
Oh
we,
my God!
just
We
got right into
basically had that
conversation.
combo.
We can do it at the end now, so it's easier
Let's
for
just
Betty.
do it right now. Ready?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't clap either.
I clapped at the beginning.
Nice.
Who cares? Let's do the intro now. Can you believe
Yeah.
that was all?
That was the intro.
The pre. That was the pre.
That was the
Ladies
trailer.
and gentlemen.
That's so funny. Do you want to do it, Win?
Yeah.
I think I was driving to the shoot, and I'm in my car, and then I'm like, oh, I keep an essential oil in my car, like,
Nice. Good call.
like instead of it's those stupid fucking things that.
Yeah.
Ugh, Yuck. Gross.
They smell like plastic.
Yeah, it's
They
awful.
make
It's
me
awful.
They make me head hurt.
I know. And I literally was like, oh, I think I put it on me, or I put it in the car, and then I was like, oh my God, this oil is called Palma Rosa, and my character's name was Rosa Palma.
Oh.
I know. I was like, wow. I think maybe it was my fitting. I can't remember. I think it was the fitting. And I was like, oh shit.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
How was the
Dun.
experience on being in such a legendary show? Did you feel like you had big shoes to fill?
You
Did
know what?
they give you big shoes?
I wore my shoes. I think no. Did they give me shoes?
You wore your shoes.
Did I wear my shoes? No. I think they gave me shoes. Everyone was so nice.
Yeah.
Everyone was really like the director was really awesome. I don't remember his name at the moment because I'm contact high, but he
you for
was
your honesty.
he was so great. Like I love when they give you stuff to do where they're like, okay, just like what did he make me do when I had to like, because I discover a dead body, my boss's dead body, right?
Oh, wow.
So I just thought of it the other day, but now I can't remember what it was, the thing he got me to do, and it was like so good because he was just like, okay, and he just talked me through like getting my emotion there, and I was like, I loved it. Yeah, he was so great.
Good director.
The other actors were so good. Everything, it was a really, really good experience.
It's really cool.
I mean, then of course, you hear stories about like they're a pretty tight production, like they're kind of like overwork the people.
Oh.
Yeah, but
I think every TV show ends up getting in a groove where they try to
You're just doing
as
so
much
much in
done.
so little time.
and get as
Yeah.
much done with as less crew as possible. That's just like a responsible producer, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like that when they try and put too much on one job. I think every position should be built from somebody who I'm like, what do you want to do? All right, these are the steps that are going to help you get there. Learn this, do this shit for a while. It should be constantly, but a lot of film crews, it's like, it's a job. And then they get more stuff caked on it.
Yeah.
And the same
Yeah.
pay rate. So it's fucking.
yeah.
But
should
Law and
expand.
Order must have been a pretty big, like you must have had at least 30, 40 people on set, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Big
Yeah.
crew.
Oh yeah, more than that.
But still, they're all
The
necessary.
people
I
in the
feel.
house, the people on the ground. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
like, there were quite 30, 40 people, probably a bit more than that. But
What
yeah,
was
yeah.
that audition process like?
It was a Zoom audition. That's
in the square.
Yeah, but it was, at least it wasn't a self tape. Who does just this? It's one casting director who always does it Zoom, and I love it. I mean, if we're gonna be doing this thing, which casting directors, if you're listening, we want to be back in the room.
I want to come see
Or
you.
to have some kind of accommodation.
I want to shake your hands unnecessarily right down the line and take up too much
Fuck
time in
everybody.
my audition.
I want to fuck up the first time and then do better on the second time.
Because you get
know?
no feedback. You don't get feedback. This is
I
like,
want to throw my lines to try to make you laugh to see if you'd be a cool crew to work with.
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to feel nervous
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember feeling nervous for auditions instead of like,
Yeah.
I got to put this tape together. It's like a little production. And you used to be like, I get to go meet a whole new room of scary people.
I have a
Yeah. And there is stuff about self tapes that are great. Like I think obviously it's not going to go away, the self tape, but there has to be accommodations for the, for the worker. Like you can't be paying to audition. It's like everybody would find this insane that like, they would make people pay to interview for a job.
Yeah.
Are you fucked?
There is in the ACTRA I'm going to say office is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You can rent a self-tape studio there.
Yeah.
But no one uses it because it's like you have to go through their website to rent it and then just
Do they have a reader for you?
Is it free?
I don't know. I think you have to bring your own reader.
Is it
It's
free?
free. Yeah.
Oh, Actra does take some of that money they get from the government and put up a camera and a backdrop in one
if
of
you
their
still-
offices. That's
Yeah.
sick. I would do that too.
I think you still have to know how to like use the machinery too.
Well, they can't hire someone. It'd
I
be
did it
way too
once.
much to give someone $20 an hour. For
I've
3
never
days a
done.
week.
I've never used that. I always go to
Gotcha.
my coach but otherwise we do it at home.
I'm a real good coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It just
I'm
has to be
super-
If
an
you ever need help
accommodation.
reading, I can help you.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, good to know. Yeah.
It keeps
I
going
get
up.
Precious. Like Precious usually reads for me.
nice.
Sick.
Or I just tape myself, but I don't know if they like it. That's the thing. We don't know nothing. We're in this fucking box. We're getting deeper in the box. We're getting more lost in the fucking box.
And they
Sick
can
of
see
it.
so many more people, right?
Yeah.
Like Jules Casting just posted something not too long ago that kind of went viral, and she was like, you know, I just want to show you guys what the reality of the situation is. I had 10,000 submissions, and I went through everyone's headshot and took like over 1,000 people. Like I selected over 1,000 people for the whole. It wasn't just one role; it was for the whole project. But still, so her point was like, if you get the audition, like you've already made it. Like you should be happy about that because there's so many people submitting now, and that's because they have more time. They don't need to bring people in studio, so
Yeah,
they
and
can
then
see way
people-
more people.
Yeah.
Which, like, for, I guess, one person or a couple people, that's good. That maybe would have got lost in the sauce before, but
So you got to have a good headshot because they're not gonna.
You actually
fucking-
do.
They're
That's
not
like
gonna go look at you unless
No.
you have a good headshot. So go holler at your photographers. It is an investment. You're a sole proprietor. You're starting a business. There are investments. It's pretty wild that you are the product. You know. So I think we
Yeah.
lose touch with that. But a lot of people. We have a friend who started a spice mix business. Milka, she's been on the show, the Spicy Balkan, and she's a homie. She used to work in weed, but you know, just like seeing someone pour money into like regulatory standard type things to elevate it to get it in the St. Lawrence market and stuff. Like you can't just close a jar yourself for some sauce you made. It has to be this industrial grade
Yeah.
kitchen, and then like she went from doing it herself to like outsourcing someone that takes care of the whole process. But I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like for me, I'm butthurt about any fees, like extra fees, breakdown express fees. Keep an LLC alive in Delaware, $300 a year. Fuck. Okay, I'm trying to get around.
IMDb.
I'm trying to play the game. IMDb.
Oh my God.
All this
Like-
bullshit.
Casting workbook.
But then it's like, fuck. I'm like, well, how much were those peppers? That one pepper for that one ingredient for that one product you have, and you have 8 products. She's like, well, it was fine. It's only like $800. And then I'm like, and then you have to do that again like next month or something, right? So it's like, fuck, man, pay the cost to be the boss, you know, of like your own kind of legacy or something. I think like we just lose sight of it because this is the product. It's like you're the product. Like it's crazy because you're like, well, am I spending money on myself or the business? And then generally you're like, well, where's the income coming from in the first place? So it's like, you know, it's like reappropriating your income to like invest in this new company. You are the company. And it's scary because it's like, then it's all on your shoulders. Like make it successful.
Yeah.
Like make it.
That's why it doesn't make sense, because it's like we're all just thinking like it's outside of ourselves. So we have to get this thing, we have to get that thing. And then everything has a cost, and who's profiting from it when this is everyone's home.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like people. There's a couple of people who are like putting so much pressure on the planet, both like on everything, on the earth, on the people, the resources.
Yeah.
To like profit, just to profit for themselves.
Money is
They'll
money is a
never-
driver for sure.
They'll never let go of that power. So it's up to us to climb our way up out that bucket.
Yeah, and they won't let go of it, but their time is coming up because people are starting to get more and more aware. Like, yo, I don't need like.
Well, maybe we
Shit.
can exchange. I think the cool thing is, and you look at societies that have survived so long, like Jewish folks, they're cool at bartering.
Yeah.
Like they're good at bartering with each other. So let's keep their game out of it then. Let's like keep the services direct. Let's keep everyone can always use dollars for sure, but like the thing is people don't have the situations that are fulfilling enough to believe in.
Yeah.
They want to go to a job and get that and go and follow the square.
Yeah.
Home,
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
outing, home,
Yes.
work, back home, outing, the little square, the matrix square. But like life is a lot of uncertainty, and that's what I noticed with people during the vax stage. I had the creativity to have ideas about how to remain healthy before there was a presented blanket fix like some sort of fake vaccine. Oh, I said that shit, bars. It's not a vaccine if it doesn't work. I'll
like
take a
years
polio
later now.
vaccine, no problem. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just fucking, anyway, I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying the difference in people who just went with it and no hate, it's just they didn't have that creativity.
Yeah.
So unless you build
It
your
was
own
fear.
destiny, it was fear.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I'm just going to go with that. But it's like, no, for sure. But there's other ways to also like protect yourself, like in your health, or like be aware. And like most people, it was the actual thought that goes into it. It's the thought to become rich. It's the thought to stay healthy. It's the thought, and it's exhaustive.
I don't know if you saw that video where there's a bunch of kids in England and they're like talking about, oh, you know, the lockdowns were bullshit. The prime minister was having people over. Like, that's what I want to say. Is like, if the people that were telling you to stay home and not to go out and to take whatever they wanted you to take were not doing what they said, then
Right.
it's fake. It's not real.
That's insane.
So like,
to
if
me.
anybody thinks otherwise, then it's like, what if all the elite people were still seeing each other and telling us you
tale.
can't, and you could even get charged. Like, remember how scared we were?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I
That's
think we
fucked
know
up.
That's the square.
someone who did get like a ticket for being out too late or something. I don't know if it was in Canada though, but
I remember I was shooting a commercial in Quebec City at the time, so I drove there,
Curfew.
and it was actually, yeah, they had curfew. It was the one
Weirdos.
part of was interesting was to go to Quebec City, and nobody was out, and you got to
Weird.
just see like, oh wow, this is amazing. But I
That's
get out of
pretty.
my hotel room and I was like, I need to eat, and I go to this bar, and they were like, or a restaurant, and they're like, oh, you're not really supposed to be out, and I was like, but they didn't really care, like they weren't like I was
but
like,
they were open. Oh,
They
for
were-
like delivery maybe.
yeah, they were open, but it was like, yeah, I don't remember what exactly, but it was like, you know, you're not supposed to really. I guess they were open, yeah, maybe for
Yeah.
delivery, whatever. But I was like,
Oh, all the mask stuff, the science didn't make sense.
It was a lot.
Like standing in a restaurant and the mask on and sitting down and it off, like none of it made sense. But I give the props to those controlling few who, like, their brain stimulation through the mind, through the square, it worked.
Yeah.
Like, if you separate,
initially.
like, yeah, but there's
worked.
still a good amount of people that are, like, still, like, that is real.
yeah, that's square exactly.
I checked the CDC. I checked the or whatever their fucking
Yeah,
website
yeah,
are.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
an acronym. It's like, at what point do you
But you're right.
stop chasing your tail like a dog and like, you know? But no, like I'm saying, it worked. I commend them. 100% respect.
I mean,
I wish I
also-
was as good at marketing.
Yeah.
For people who like lost relationships and stuff, it would be really, really difficult to now be like, oh, I was wrong. Like your ego would potentially shatter. Like you could have an ego death because it was a huge life altering thing, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, oh, this person's crazy. Like we're cutting them out of our lives or whatever.
You know, like on the exactly. Like on the energetic, spiritual level, it was necessary. Like it
good.
happened. They just took it. Like they just did what they did. But again, it was like showing us the illusion we have about everything. Like if you really see behind
It was a gift.
because it's a war game. It was
It's
just
a
a
mind
game
game.
they
That's what-
played.
Yep.
They executed a game. They even tell you that's the devil always does that. Tells you what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
and they
do
did it.
They
Yeah.
do it.
You know what I mean? And it's like the war game is the war game. They
Yep.
plan it, they execute it.
And
So how
well.
much are you going to believe in the war game? And then when you stop believing in the war game, you just see the farce.
I think a lot of people, I don't know, like percentage wise, but I think a lot of people who were like on the side of like, I'm just going to go with the flow. I would say that was me, you know, like I had a couple of jobs that, you know, required me to get the vaccine. I felt fine about it. You know, I
Yeah.
was like, whatever, I'll just do this. But like moving forward in life, I think that just now I'm like, oh, I would like to take a moment and like tune in and actually be like, what does my body say? What does my intuition say? What does my God
Yeah.
say? Before I kind of just lollygag with the you know, the people
Because like
bandwagon type situation. And I think that a lot of people are going through that too.
yeah. Like, because, you know, it was like that kind of thing. People like, I had to take the vaccine. I had to. I understand the level of complexity with all these things was insanity. But really, it's like we were confronted to make a choice, right? And so it appeared to be easier to do it because then you could do things they told you. But like, guess what? The next time that you're going to be asked to do something, you're still going to get at that point. So it's kind of like that was just a dress rehearsal for all the other motherfucking times that we're going to be pushed to that point. Like, are you going to do this or you're not going to do this?
I personally think less people are going to do it.
Oh yeah, like if it's that way, but what if it's something like that's what they're trying to do?
It will be another thing.
It'll be another thing. Yeah, exactly. But less and less people, and that's what they predict. Like we're in the age of Aquarius. This old game, this ego, Kali Yuga, the Indians call it. It's an ego like
driven,
and that's why everyone's so fucked. You were saying that you're finding everyone on Instagram is going nuts.
Yeah.
Because people don't know what to do, so they're just there's no what's the word? There's no resolution to these conflicts, and so people are just fighting their war. These other people, like, I don't start the war. You didn't start the war. So who are these people starting these motherfucking wars? And then you're defending occupation, or you're defending, you know, horrible abuses. It's like,
but then it's all tax dollars funding this war.
Exactly.
So this is countries playing more war games with each other to turn people against each other.
What was COVID? What is a war? It's literally taking. It's a massive wealth. They're stealing.
Yeah. It's a wealth transfer. It's one of the biggest wealth transfers in history was COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this idea then that we have to learn how to disagree with one another is really great.
Media?
I'm glad that that's being that's being thought of again.
To learn to disagree, it is one of I've done cool shit with my career, but it's actually one of my prideful, happy points of my life, the relationships I've maintained with a lot of left friends. Because I thought I was sworn like self-proclaimed like lefty left, and then that happened and I'm like, oh shit, I guess not. And then I'm over here like a redneck, but like I've been able to.
We're unique in the way that like a lot of people we knew broke up because one was a vaxxer and one was not.
Oh yeah.
During the pandemic.
It has become, including with someone like Winnie's yoga's friends, surprisingly a lot of the people in yoga were pro-vaccine.
Isn't that insane? I know.
But I'm like, that seems like
believe it.
That seemed like I can't believe they got you. They got you. Like
I couldn't believe it.
I remained like honest, but amicable.
Me too, for the most part.
Right? And I feel like, because it's like, what's really more important here? Our friendship, if we can just hold steady in like different atmospheres, or like really just blowing up at each other for the sake of disagreeing. Like one of Winnie's yoga's friends, and she's done great for me, you know, but and they're just in a different life, different world. Like if I was just told I'm having a kid and not even my family can be in the room because of all this hoopla, I might believe it too. If I was inconvenient, you know, I might be more sucked into the rules if they had affected me like that. But I'm like this artist who's going to the nude beach, like who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like I'm in a different thing. So throughout all this disagreement, it's given me the gift of being able to shift perspective and be like, how would I feel about this shit if I was in this person's shoes? Yeah.
I was at hospitals the whole time because my father was elderly. So I was literally, like, not that I was sick, but he was. So you'd go into the hospital and you're like, wait a minute, what they're saying on TV doesn't seem to be what's going on in these hospitals. All the COVID wings were empty. Every time I went, there was no like,
that's what I fucking heard.
And then they would like, and then, you know, I don't know if like how I realized this. Maybe someone said to me when they were like, the hospitals are full. You know, they're overflowing because doctors weren't seeing patients.
Right.
So where were they going to go? They went to the hospital. Yeah. Right. So then that maxed out those people, and like I remember too, like my father was in the emergency for something, and you know, I wasn't supposed to be in there, but I didn't give a fuck. And the nurses let me stay by him.
Of course.
That's good.
And I was like, I'm just gonna go behind. I'm gonna walk behind your back, and I'm gonna be with my dad. And then they were just like, the nurses like, oh my God, how awful. These people had to like, under the conditions they had to work. And one of the worst parts is the people that I know who had to say goodbye to parents in old age homes they couldn't even see them.
Disgusting.
Like I know,
That's too
I have
fucked.
we have friends that
torture.
they're so traumatized.
Sure.
It's torture.
They're so fucked.
So then you wonder why those people snap on people, because they were like led into that torture by the mental war game, because they knew that strategy thing.
Yeah.
The physicians won't be able to help those people. That will overwhelm. Then we'll tell them this, and whatever's played on the news is not what's going on in real life.
No.
Basically ever.
The box is not telling you the truth. The box is just playing the box. The square, the box.
It's cranking you up, man. It's cranking you up. It's like a fucking breakfast cereal, also in a box.
Yeah, imagine you're like watching some guy unbox in the square. You know, you're like, oh, I just got a new pair of running shoes, and oh my god, I just got a sponsor, $50 million sponsor for mascara to put up my vagina. Like what? I don't know. To fucking like, you know, to make my pubic hair look. I don't know, whatever it is. It's such a bizarre. I mean, and then you know what? Like, you know, the thing is that like. You know, now as you're saying this, I'm like, you know, if it's meant, like, if it's meant to wake us up, you know, and is it all, you know, because in Kundalini they say everything comes from God and everything goes to God.
Yes.
I'm not like, did God just like, okay, well, we're gonna put him through this trial right now, and that's like just so they can wake the fuck up to see like, yo, man, you are God, and and whoever it is that's running the game. Right, whoever these people are that created this
system that's working. So that's what I mean. That's for me to break through for my clarity during the thing. Doing mushrooms helps. I realize consciousness is just dancing for itself in each other, and it's actually showing me what I want to know. So I don't want to take over society, but I do want my music to be successful. So how did these guys move? Like, look at who owns NBC through sponsorship. Pfizer. They didn't announce that. Nobody knows that. They sponsored in the back end and paid the bills. How do you gain favor? Do shit for people. This is mob mentality. This is brilliant. This is social engineering. Yeah. This is how you politic. When I moved to LA, I'm gonna use all this strategy.
Yeah.
You go feed someone, and then let it. And then when you ask in the front, it's brilliant. They showed me how to move. Consciousness, God blessed me through all that.
Yeah.
God blessed us all if we want to take responsibility to think at that level.
Just like, I think, you know, it's obviously, I got this clip from the box, the square that said, this woman was saying like, if the capitalist who profits off of the worsening condition of another person, that's like, you know, that's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the part, like, yeah. So it's like, if you want
It's a psychopath.
Like your success and your prosperity, it's more about prosperity instead of the success. So, you know, it's like God promises that if you follow the word, and the word that tells you you're not going to take advantage, you're not going to profit off someone's worsening condition. That's the fucking... That's where we're at. They're profiting off of everyone's worsening condition.
The word is I am.
Yeah.
God is I am.
Yeah.
So those people with that sort of manipulative skew on life, I don't know how good their life is.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Really.
You're so rich. You have all this shit. Like, and you were saying it's working, but it's like, what's working?
Their
Money
heart.
in their bank?
Yeah, but their heart isn't.
Like, I do fantasize. I'm sure you do too. Where you're like, oh, imagine if you could just go to like, oh, I'm just going to buy that purse for $1,000 and then go to a bunch of other $1,000 things or $14,000 things. But I notice when I don't have money and then all of a sudden I get the money, I'm not any more happy. I'm happy that I now have cinnamon sticks. I have cinnamon sticks in my bag, by the way. I'll let you smell them. And I mean, those are the things where, like, even now, it's like every time I go back to the St. Lawrence market, like today, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get the dried mangoes that are sweetened. I'm just going to get a little bit less and try to keep it as whole as possible, what I'm eating.
Nice.
You know, by,
Good for you.
You know, like, but anyways, just to say, though, that, like, it's good to, like, you know,
it's nice
not
to
have
enough.
money. I know it's fucked, and you're like, okay, I don't like it, but it's like, if it's showing you something about what you're consuming, how you don't even think about it,
Totally.
then it's good.
Yeah, because I've seen money be the death of people as well. Like the ability to order Uber Eats whenever you want, or the
what a terrible
ability
thing.
to drink whenever you want, and then luckily lots of them don't have a normal job or they're the boss so they can sleep in, but like you literally see sometimes people be able to do whatever they want and that start to like actually diminish because they don't put discipline on it.
Yeah.
So
There should be no Uber Eats. It should be illegal.
That is an
I
addiction
honestly
level.
agree.
Yeah,
We had to stop.
We've
stopped.
I deleted
now.
Uber
Good.
Eats.
Yeah. I
We don't do
never.
Uber Eats
I'm not.
It
Because
was
I'm,
bad.
I'm not
I
because
would-
I'm like trying to promote myself.
They
but-
got me every day. I was doing every day.
Wow. I've never ordered from them once. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying
Oh,
never.
you're so
You should
cool.
brag about that.
Not even
Thank
one time. Like fuck these
Thank you.
people. But it's like if.
No, it's crack dealer to your door.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
outsourced
It's too
crack dealers.
convenient.
And it's like you're just.
Sugar.
Yeah, and it's like there's something really when you have that moment you're high, and you can fucking eat shit.
It's
and you're like,
powerful,
this is
too.
the fucking best, and you love it.
It's powerful.
Yeah,
Don't
You
get me
feel
wrong. I
powerful.
still go to our local convenience store and sometimes get shit.
I know it's okay.
But it balances
We all
out.
get shit.
Yeah.
We all get shit.
Yeah.
I used to just
Sometimes
get like
it's so delicious.
like order just like 3 or 4 Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
I've never eaten at Popeyes.
Oh, you're so cool.
I don't.
I know you are very
When
cool.
I see chicken in the if someone's
the real
selling me
deal.
chicken.
See, I was.
I don't
talking
eat
about that
meat
shit.
out for the most part, except this is weird, because it's dirty. And I don't mean meat is dirty, but it's dirty when I don't know what are you doing
No,
with this in
you're
your
right.
back room.
They're getting it from a large supplier too.
But also the way that but I will eat meat at a banquet hall. I know it sounds crazy. We had a party for my sister last week, and it's like, but I was reminded that it makes sense at a banquet
Catering.
hall because it's an event.
Right.
And it's not like they're selling it, and it was the
Consistently,
chicken and
it's catering from somewhere.
and
yeah.
it was clean. Like,
Yeah.
But I don't ever and when I do eat meat out because someone's like, "Oh, eat this," no, it's very rare that I'm gonna like it.
You know
but
what
I'm
we
like,
had last night?
Don't say.
We were at a weed party, and our guy Walker from Woody Nelson made a fucking perfect porchetta. Porchetta,
It was
crispy as fuck,
nuts.
sliced. It was.
But he made it.
He
He
made
made
it.
it.
He went to Farm Boy, bought it.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 big ribeye steaks.
bless,
God
God
bless.
bless,
Yes.
God bless.
It was really nice. He just cut it up and then we all just
But
ate
it's
it
like
with
you know,
our
what-
hands.
you know what I'm thinking right now. It's like we're in these when we get in these situations, like, and I don't know if you ever feel this. You're like, I feel like I'm on the edge. We're on the edge of like a utopia, like a.
Yeah, we're
I know.
almost
I can
there.
feel it. I can feel it. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, this is who we really are. It's like we're
That's
here.
right, that's
we
right.
feel it. We know what to do, and then we go home and we kind of like
It
just
wears off.
message on Instagram.
We go
and
back in the
love it.
square.
Yeah, and we gotta.
I literally can't wait to get back in the square. It's the first thing that I do when that phone is returned to me.
No, don't do it
Seriously.
today. Today, don't do it.
Fine, but it's gonna take more than that to break the addiction.
Benny will manage all squares while we're here.
every part, like you were being asked to go in. Oh, there's not a really well asked to go in the square all the time. Like, I gotta go now and update my little bio.
You wanna chill?
What if
fucking
someone's asking me
podcast.
to be on their show?
You
Just
can't miss that
relax.
message.
No.
But also just relax.
Me too. Yeah.
yeah, it has to be both.
You know, it's like I was asked to do a show. This always happens. I was asked to do a show Saturday, and it's my cousin's party
Yep.
on Saturday, right? And I was like, oh, I mean, it's decent money, but it's not, it's not a.
It's not life-changing opportunity.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, it's good to go. And then I thought, oh, I thought at the moment, do I cancel my family thing? What do I do? And then, I was like, look, I could be there. I could make it there for after 9 because I was like, what time would I go up? 8:30, 8:45. No, that means I'm going to be at this party for an hour and a half. That's like, or just an
Yeah.
hour. Like, that's silly. So then I just said, I was like, oh, I could be there after 9. And she's like, okay, I'll ask the producer. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I was like, what's the, but I'm like, okay, if I'm at my cousin's party for 2 hours, that's good.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
you
you
know
don't
what I
really
mean?
want to be longer than that usually.
And then if I can make that show. But what I was saying was that last night, I don't get notifications from
No, me either.
Instagram.
No, me
But then
neither.
last night I was like, do I go and look at my message to see if Adrian got back to me? And then I'm like, oh, no. And then this morning when I looked on, she hadn't messaged me back. So it's like,
There you
I'm
go.
glad I didn't go and interact with it because I didn't need to.
Yeah,
There you
I can
go.
tell that you're good with Instagram because I'll message you in the morning and you won't message me back until
I
night.
love that.
You're right.
Yeah, And I know. I'm like, it's because she's healthy mentally.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not. I part of it, but I'm not really. Not all. Like,
We're always working on it all the time. That's why, like, I don't know about the utopia, honestly. Like, I don't know if human beings get a utopia. I'm not sure if that's exactly what we're, like, we gotta have problems, right?
There's
like,
utopia every day.
no, I mean,
yeah.
Utopia every day. Everything is
Yeah,
just
there's
micro
moments.
and macro.
Yeah.
So like you can extend your time in utopia by finding like harmony with that frequency. We're just vibrational creatures. So it's like as long as you allow yourself and give yourself permission to be in utopia, because we think we need that show to be whole. We think we need that brand deal or that money to be whole. We think we need the
I know.
next
And then
step.
what does it end? Where does it end?
It does. Well, that's the square. That's the idea of accomplishment. But like, we give ourselves permission to be in utopia. I don't know, man. Because even in the shower, I think about business and bills and bullshit. Like
Yeah.
right. So like, when
your brain is on a
utopia
lot.
is a vision in your mind. I think so. It's like your vibration will follow. Right. Like the mind is the crosshairs, is the leader. And the heart and the feeling and what pulls the subconscious up is like what you end up, vibration you end up on, where your feeling is at, where your general emotional state lies, your consistent point of existence. That needs to have permission to be in utopia. But I can't give myself permission. I don't think I'm good enough yet. Like until I'm on like world tour for my music, you know, like it's like I won't stop.
But
trying
we're missing
to
out
do
on
something.
the utopia that you could have right now just
I
by
know.
feeling worthy.
God
no,
bless, but I'm
I
stuck
agree
in
with
an
you.
emotional cycle to try
Yeah.
and accomplish because I have songs that are unreleased. You know, it's so fun to say like you guys don't fully know me yet, even.
I have a catalog of literally films and TV shows that I've created, and I'm like, I know they've been made. They've already been made.
Yes, and you're just
Where
meeting
I'm just
yourself.
trying to find it on the timeline, but
You're meeting
but
yourself.
I have to get out of. That's what I was thinking too the other day. I was like, okay,
Wrong way.
I see peers, making it, getting on these Hollywood shows, and
But you don't
and
know
then
what their day was like, though.
Yeah, it's true. And then I'm like, and then sometimes I have this, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'm always just going to be like struggling for money. And this is always what's going to, like.
That's the affirmation they got you
It's
stuck in,
terrible.
homie.
Yeah,
That's
I
their
know.
lie. That's not your truth.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
their lie.
fucked.
It is
It's so
because
bad.
you can't just say, well, I am rich when you're feeling sort of in that like.
But you cook up problems.
Yeah.
Like you
Well,
had
that's
that
what I'm
fear the other
saying.
day.
But that's what I'm saying. Do we always need problems? It seems
don't
like
need to
human
fear.
beings need problems.
It's just
to
vibrational
excel.
existence.
Our problems give us this reason to like evolve.
Yeah.
If we
Oh,
had
that's
no
true.
problems, would we become those rich people that aren't happy with life because they have everything? They've
Well,
But they have
succeeded.
bigger, more money, more problems.
I know
But
that's
then
what I've
the
heard.
solution is right
like-
there. So you gotta stay with God. You gotta stay with the guidance forward.
Because, like, here's the thing. When you think about it, more money, more problems. When your problem becomes, how do I murder that person that's going to expose the
Right.
dirty shit? Then it's like, then
I
you're
don't
like
wanna
that.
do that.
I don't like
That's
for
not
me
cool.
to have to orchestrate, plan someone else to murder an enemy. Oh my god.
Here's one thing.
I hate
That's,
it.
I can't do it. I'm not. I can't do it.
So choose your problems. That's what I think is the cool thing. Get up and work at something. The difference between those who accomplish and those who do, those who go to the mics, those who go do the shows, those who hold a podcast steady for years, even though it makes no money and you have to do it yourself. But then Benny shows up. And
Yeah,
then
it
brand
does.
partners
You
show
guys
up.
have like all these sponsors.
Momentum comes. Momentum
have
comes.
lead
So
sponsors.
I chose that problem and I had to do it. But the universe kept giving me things. My buddy Matt decided to stop his podcast. He gave me this. I worked for a client and he gave me this camera. This other 7D someone gave us. These lights sticking out shut down gave us these. I didn't pay for
How about
this.
this to consider?
This
What
is
if
nuts.
you said
I'm so
nobody
grateful.
watches this, nobody makes money?
I
You
didn't
don't
say
know
that.
if nobody watches this.
I didn't say that. I think people watch it. I just meant like when I was holding it down for 2 or 3 years,
No, but I was
it
going to
was
say,
more of a cost.
what if it's entities watching it that they just don't record on the register?
Oh,
on the
thank
box.
you. Maybe
And
the
swear.
box is telling me a lie that I'm okay
I think
existing
so.
is.
Like, I mean,
needed
just
to
like,
show-
where does who is the one seeing and who is the one,
Ooh,
right?
yeah, good
I don't know.
call.
I
You're
mean-
right. No, because change that affirmation too, right? Like, yeah, I love that.
right? It's like,
It's
like,
probably being viewed quite a bit.
yeah, like you see what I'm just like, now that I'm doing my podcast and I see, it gives you these reports. I know those numbers are like, what are they really saying? But it's like it's increased engagement. I know. Listen to me. I'm such a marketer. That's what I went to
That's what
after
you
I
want.
did my master's. I went to do an international marketing diploma degree from Humber College.
Let's go.
Wow.
And I did that for several years where I was like in marketing, which is why a lot of my, and even like sort of like mildly advertising, but I really like it was, I was in that world. And that's why like when I first started comedy, I knew to get good posters. I knew to get good,
Right.
I knew all the good designers.
Yeah.
And then people would come to the shows and I got it and I was like, oh, I know this. And then like now this recent like major transition that we're in,
Yeah.
I found myself being like very resistant and I don't like it. I'm like a Luddite right now.
Yeah.
I was.
But hey, that's totally fair.
Well,
You
you're
got to take
hilarious.
care of
You're
the mental body first before you do anything else. But I don't know. For me, I'm just like I am that outputting machine right now.
You're an outputter. You put a lot out there.
I
It's
mean,
amazing.
he is crazy. Like, he's next level with both his Instagram and ours. I think where I'm coming from, it's like we just got to do everything we can to gain an audience because then we can go on tour and then we can make money sustainably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's reasons
And that's
to
okay. It's good to do it.
pursue it, I think. But, like, I also agree you have to make it fun. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many times where I'm outputting for the sake of outputting, and that gets so draining. So it has to be this balance of like actually enjoying what you're doing, which with help, I will say it's a lot easier now,
Yeah.
with someone around. But yeah, it's a lot. I don't think it's good for my mental well-being.
No, it's not.
There's so many people on there too that can cause jealousy, and I kind of got over the jealousy thing, but I feel the jealousy is just kind of manifests as sadness now, which is still not good because I want to be happy for everyone that I see slaying the game, or at least
Furious to slay the game. But that's like
fuck
that's
these guys.
But that's why it's like all measured in these images, in these like squares,
It totally is.
right? It's like how many squares did you put out today? That should just be called square. How many square? I mean, I know there's a
There's
I
a
have the
processing.
square. You know the
There's a
square
processing
payment.
platform.
Do you know what I mean? Like how many squares did you put out today? I put out 50 squares, brother.
So check this
Like-
out. I have one square that has like several squares in it, apps. Then I go into those squares. Then I have a couple accounts of different squares
Yeah.
in that square.
Yeah.
So 11 Wins Podcast, Paradox Live,
Jeez Louise.
and I have Ralphie's Instagram too that I also do shit on sometimes. But like all of those require like a different train of thought. Like I'm a creative agency pumping out content for 4 clients. And then sometimes I have additional clients or like brand songs or something. But like regardless, I look at it like the gym of creating videos because I love creating videos. I think that's the thing.
It's cool. I honestly, I always love like that. I see you guys,
God
and
bless.
like I see strength. You know, like I see strength and determination,
God
like energy. You know what I mean? So like it's nice. I like seeing that. You know, and so I know like that's why like I feel really motivated now for myself to be in like to do podcasts because like I'm also finding out really great information about people and it's
You
so
get to
great.
learn. You get to learn.
And since when did I become? I think it was like COVID or whatever. But I was like, I'm just gonna put these things out like I used to do shows. Like
Yeah.
I fucking produced. I don't know if you know. Like for. I mean, whatever. Why would you know? Because it's not like Canadian comedy's on record, really. Although some of it's on record.
No, but you held it down for a long time.
Produced shows for pretty much like almost 15 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
that were sold out like not always sold out, but full all the time.
Steady.
Okay, I did like
Strong.
I've done 9 solo shows. I did 5 sketch shows. I'm like I've done now. This is my 4th album. And then I still get hard on myself. But
You know how
but
many
I was-
people you probably inspired? Like I directly also know from Winnie, like definitely who like you're like in very high regard. Like you, without even I bet people telling you, like you've inspired people to
So nice.
to get involved. No, it's true. When you hold it down consistently like that, that's
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has something nice to say about you. Mike Rita loves the shit out of you. You know
Oh
that,
my
eh?
God.
He just goes on and he's like, Chugga, she's the best legend. Like everything fucking.
Mike
you've touched
Rita's-
a lot of people.
Mike Rita's fucking like what do you call that when he's like what do you call that person who's like who ups
A
you?
big up, like a hype man.
Yeah, hype man.
Yes,
that's it.
yes.
He's the like the biggest hype man ever. Like when he's got for everything, it's amazing.
Winners. That's a winner's heart.
But then look at how it's translated for him, because he's
Yeah.
always been like that, and now he's like got a lot of
He's doing it.
followers. He's it's amazing. He always had that energy.
Yeah.
He stood up for his community too, you know?
Yeah.
The Portuguese love him.
Yeah. Yeah.
As
Just
they
like
should. Everyone.
yeah.
God bless.
Yeah. So then, do you ever ask yourself like, what is enough for you? Because we tangented a little bit, but you were like, I've done all this shit, and it's like, is that even?
And you're bringing a
you
voice
still
to
feel like,
artists,
that's
too.
not enough.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, how am I? Like, I'm here and I stay. I'm in Canada. I'm not. I didn't go to the States. I mean, I didn't go to the States. I didn't move there. Yeah, no. But today, I think in the shower, I thought too. I'm like, I have this shoulder pain that's like fucking making me crazy. But like, I was like, okay, what do I have to get to it. Like, the only way to heal it is like to
stretch it, move
Be
it,
with it.
move it and see it. And then I was like, yeah, because I'm like this. I'm going for. I'm just like thinking like, oh, I gotta do this. And so it's like, no, okay. Just,
Are you stretching?
I stretch.
Buddy.
I do stretch a lot. I probably don't stretch enough, but I do.
This one I found.
I do a lot. Like I do it on the tree.
Yeah, that's the best place. What a wonderful resistance to it. Like, it's just like,
It's the best.
oh my God. Yeah, all
No,
this,
but-
the shoulders.
But keep going with.
No, just that, like,
having
yeah,
to
like,
sit with it.
I think that, like, it's not, like, maybe it's, like, not enough. It's like, yeah, I want to make films.
Yes.
I want to make my TV shows. That would be really cool. But then I'm like, you know what, too? It's like, okay, like, not my will, but thy will.
Yep.
You know? And then that's the surrender. So the surrender
Yes.
of it, so that you're just like, oh,
Give
I
it
didn't
up.
get this, and now Just for Laugh lineups are coming up, and that these people always they get everybody in a whirl, and then I feel that way too, and I'm like, stop it. What am
I know.
Why am I letting this fucking shit get in my way, get in
No,
my
you're
face?
bigger than that.
Yeah.
You're bigger than that.
But everyone gets so
Yeah.
fucked about it.
I know. I saw something. I saw something
There's a-
today, and I was like, I'm good enough to be on that. And then
know,
I
it's-
was like, shut the fuck up.
But
Like,
it's demonic. Like this pastor that I was telling you about, this preacher guy. He was like, the fact that, in Canada, artists have to go to the States because we're like, we don't do this tall poppy syndrome, right? This like we want to push everything down. He's like, it's demonic, and then I was like, yeah, like why? This is a demon we have to overcome.
Yeah.
Like it's really bad. here.
Canada,
Like,
there's enough, bro. Like, it's really
I
weird.
think our politeness, I think people get really, I see it actually, because he's quite bold in social settings and with
Yeah.
strangers and stuff. And people are just like offended so easily.
people are
just
so
like
offended.
of nothing. Like, and in the States, he'll act the same way, and either people just like ignore him and go on with their life because they're the star of their own movie, or they'll like love him. Like,
make
those
a
are
lot
the-
of good friends.
Whereas people here, you can see you shouldn't have cut me off, or you shouldn't have done or you shouldn't be so
Yeah.
boisterous, or you shouldn't be.
Even if you're just part Italian, we're not yelling, we're just talking.
Exactly.
It's very
Right,
expressive.
yeah.
I have a very fun time with people. It's almost like I'm excited to see you. I never met you before, but nice to meet you.
Yeah.
People will definitely Canadians
Yeah.
are like,
That's part of called
hey,
the
bud.
Yeah, yeah, and it's people here have made an identity or a way of doing things as a result of their deficit they feel against America.
Yeah. Nailed
Right?
it.
Weirdly true. What's with that, eh?
Right? You just see people, you're like, you're sad, and then you're in the fucking arts, and it's just a sad business, and it's like, why are you like, the government just gave me this amount of money, and and I have to, you know what I mean? It's just one sad motherfucking story after
They're
another sad
complain-
story.
You know what? We've gotten soft. That's what happened.
I think
Yeah.
we
in
were always
America.
soft.
Yeah, but when he was in America, we were in America, and it's San Antonio, and there's like people from all around the states. I think when he was the only comedian or Canadian.
I
a
know
show?
Sabrina Douglas was there too.
Okay, cool. At a show, yeah.
a fest.
And there was
Oh,
like
right, yeah.
comedians and like their friends, and like we were talking, and like not once but twice or maybe 3 times while we were there, someone just like skipped over the fact they're like, yeah, so when I was in jail, and they'd be like, and then we just like move on to the next thing. We're like, cool, like that's common enough. All right, cool, for sure. And it was like, bam, they're just like harder. Like they just like there's less to
More-
shake and rattle them.
Yeah.
Like in Canadian, it's kind of like a bull
willing
in a
to
china shop
risk
sometimes.
more. We don't want to risk anything here.
Yeah,
Do you
like
know what I mean?
the-
Like,
Because there's no, it's like we don't risk it because it's like we see there's just this finite, this low ceiling.
Yeah.
And you know, unless you're like your energy where you're like, I'm gonna go get this anyways, then that's why everyone is just so like, what did you do? And I'm not happy for you. And like that's because you're a this, that, and the other thing. That's why you got this and
I
I'm
know,
a
yeah,
this.
giving reasons for people. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's because they're
It's
good,
a
though, too.
collective upper limiting problem. Have you ever heard that term, upper limiting? I think I read it in like The Big Leap or something, some self-help book.
Right.
But it's this idea that like you've created your max success and like it would be wild to get past that success. Like you can't
Right.
even imagine it.
Yeah.
And then once you get to any type of success, you're like, oh, well, that must be the cap. And then you like bump the
Yeah.
ceiling and have to come back down. And I feel like
Yeah.
Canadians do that.
And I think it's the like, you know, it's like America has this energy that you say that's like there's no like, you know, can the two coexist in that this absolute like feeling that, you know, it's real, it's tangible there where you feel like you could do anything.
Yeah.
But you could do anything because it's based on, it comes from being in that, you know, in America that, you know, they're an empire and they destroy and steal from everywhere around the world to make this the place that you can do anything because there's all this money. Well, then there's no freedom then.
Oh, for sure.
I remember like when the whole fucking Iranian thing came again, where, or even like I would see people say, I think it was like the Ukraine and all these kind of things, just being like, I'm happy that I'm lucky that I'm in America where freedom below. It's like, no. Until your brothers and sisters are free, you're not free. Even us, like we have this sort of freedom that we really believe in, that we see. That is actually, that's what we need to celebrate in Canada, because there's something else that goes on here. Like, I mean, that's like any part of the world. There's an energy that's really, really amazing.
Yeah.
What if we just went on that? Like the energy of like that there's not the status and the
a lot of
hierarchies, they don't exist. But it's like, okay, well, let's go there. Let's really be in community. Let's really go for togetherness, and we can create anything. And then be as bold to say like, okay, I need $50 million to do this. Who's going to give it to me?
Yeah, I feel like the more you just vibrate in that space too, because, like you guys were talking about some comedian peers and like their like low vibrational thoughts. I'm like, fuck, I forgot about that. Like you know, and I like random new people in music I'll come across. I'm like, oh man, jealousy. That's so weird. Like because like I've just been blessed to just like fucking work with winners. So I feel like most people around me are like even more winning, even more riching than me. And like I'm lucky to be like the little brother almost vibe. You know what I mean? Like I'm like shit, like y'all are such winners. I'm just trying to run as fast as y'all. So I think it's like wherever you put yourself, like instead of getting, I just want to circle back to that because it leads into this freedom that has to come from the mind. So again, if the low vibrational thoughts, when you see success or have an idea or like want to manifest it for yourself, we like separate that person's success from our avenue of success. But like I've watched several people blow the fuck up in front of me, and like, oh God, it's so hard not to feel the sting. But then basically,
You're win too.
you're winning too, and then you actually draw it back closer into your life. Like JP, like.
Yeah.
He blew up like right. It's so wonderful. So that I become obsessed actually with what the real work was for him to do that. Write every day, show up at studio, like the songs that were written instead of like that optic of success. It's like you can use someone's success as an avenue to like figure out how to like create your own success. I feel so.
Yeah.
I'm like that. Then that freedom's in the mind, and you're not like weighing against each other. It's just like, cool, what did they do? Look at that triple
And also,
flip. Like,
though, I feel like an easy way to get there is just to be more aware of these like little miracles that happen on a
Yes.
daily basis.
Yes, for
because
you.
because if you look at like how many times have you been like, oh, that never would have happened if I didn't go through that breakup, or that never would have happened if I didn't get fired from that job?
God
like we hear this
bless.
story all the time of like these perceivably bad things happening, followed by like what was actually meant for you or who was meant for you. So just like acknowledging, even when things feel bad. I've been trying to do that. Like when I'm stressed out, I was stressed out coming here today because I was late and I really don't like to be late.
Yeah.
I just like take breaths in the car, and I still wasn't acting kindly, but I was just in my head like everything's working out.
Yeah,
Everything's
exactly.
working out, even though like it was hard to feel that because I get weird about it.
Yeah.
My body gets weird about being late. It was just ingrained in me as like a kid.
No, I know. I don't like it either. But it's all like I feel like most people, we act out of because whatever action we take, it's based on what other people are going to think about us.
Totally.
So it's like, I don't want to be late because then they're going to think like this because you think like that. It's true. Being late is not great. It's like, but also like when I've noticed that even like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm late for a show, or I'm late for this appointment, then I'm like, I literally go like that, delay. They're having a delay. There's a delay. And then it's like when I show up, it's like, everything's on time.
Totally.
Everything's on
It
time.
worked out.
Everything's on time.
And I have been noticing that. So like I feel like I'm gaining a sense of time.
So I had this thought, just literally, it's a contact high thought, but it still is a high thought. But when we were talking about Canada and the United States, I'm like, are we the way we are? Because maybe that some of the people who ended up here were being chased, right? They're like, fuck, in America, right? It's like, fucking being chased. And finally they get here and they're like,
Take
It's
a breath.
part of
I
it.
think we're not being chased anymore. And so we're like, okay, you know what? Okay,
We took
I'm
a
just-
rest
That's what
for
I thought.
150 years.
Right? You're like the
my
Underground Railroad,
God.
like, you know what I mean? Like whatever. Yeah, we're just gonna take a rest.
Oh my
And it's
God.
like,
That's so true.
doesn't it kind of feel a little vibe like this?
It is, and it's like everything that's been done to make Canada just the waiting room of the world. Like,
That's funny. The
yeah,
waiting room.
yeah. Like you can go do stuff. You can go see the doctor. You can go rock climbing, whatever. But right here in this waiting room, take off your boots and grab a magazine, and that's Canada. And
I
it's
feel like
been
people
kept
love
like that.
us.
Yeah,
Like
The
we
rest
are
of the
the
world
Will
loves
Smith of the countries
before
prior to the
before
slap.
we slapped.
Do you know what I mean?
slap?
But prior to the slap.
Oh, you
His
mean
n-
no COVID?
No,
Oh,
the
Chris
Will
Rock.
Smith slap.
Oh, part of the
Because everyone hates Will after that, and then
Oh, I
Will started
know.
rapping again.
Yeah.
I think that Will is in tight with those Pfizer folks, and that was just a way to get his rap career back on track.
Do not shake hands with the devil. One of the jobs I had, marketing jobs.
Refute the devil.
I don't know if I told you this. So, like, I was a comedian at this point, and I was hired. I was with this agency, this temp agency, and they'd find you like gigs. So, like, I was hired at Anderson DDB. You may have heard of them, but they have a Toronto office, and it's a pharmaceutical advertising agency.
Oh.
Wow.
I was getting paid $30 an hour in 2004, 5.
Oh wow.
Oh.
That's like 80 bucks an
to
hour
not
today.
to do kind of not a lot at all. I sat outside the Don Draper of that office, like, you know, Don Draper and Mad Men.
yeah.
So Gord was the guy, but he was kind of like a Moore's version of Don Draper. Like, his clothes were like, you know, pleated pants, and,
Sure.
but he was a good-looking guy. So he was the head guy. People thought that I was his fucking assistant, and I'm like,
Oh
"Yeah,
my-
man, I'm not his fucking assistant. And they called it the fishbowl because my office, it was a desk that had, like, you know, the fishbowl, like, it had a glass.
my
But
God.
basically I was hired to do research, like a qualitative research, like, you know, there's quantitative research that happens in marketing, like how many people do this, or qualitative. So it was like in support of consultants. They were like, hey man, we want to find out what you know, the newspapers are saying about this industry, or, you know, find us out something about this company, and you know, one of the things that they had asked me a few things. One of them was that at the time, Celebrex, which is an arthritic medication, was giving people heart attacks. So then they were like, find out what the B2B, because it was like B2B. There was like B2B and B2C, business to business.
Business consumer.
So what are they saying? You know, like, what are they saying about the Celebrex? And so I went and looked, and then, you know, of course, found out so much stuff. It was crazy. And And then when I went into this meeting where they were asking me my findings, I was like, because then the consultants were like, yeah, you know what? Patients are stupid. They were saying, because like they're blaming the patient for taking the Celebrex. They're like, doctors. And then they said to me, they're like, Sandra, what did you find out? And I'm like, well, first of all, if pharmaceutical companies started by behaving ethically, none of this would have happened.
Right.
And I was let go 2 weeks later.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
Why did I bring this up about this ad agency that I worked at this place?
You were getting $30 an hour.
What were you saying just
Which
before
is
that?
sweet.
I don't know. I have no clue.
Shit, it was something. Do you remember?
Just to break it, did you drive here?
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have bikes. Why did I bring this up again that I did this job? What were you saying before that? Let's coach back. I feel like there was a reason I brought it up for some. Marketing. 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 Yeah, I guess that's what it was. Was like, oh yeah, I was a comedian at the time.
Qualitative.
Oh yeah.
But there was something else I wanted to make a point
There was something
of.
else. We were talking about gratitude and like having
Choosing your mental
the little
frequency.
miracles.
Taking cues from success.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just like something about...
Draper.
Oh, no, it's Don't Shake Hands with the Devil.
Right.
Pfizer and Will Smith.
Yeah,
That's
there you
it.
go.
Boom.
So I get this job, and I worked there like 6 months, and it was the worst place. Like, their biggest client was Johnson & Johnson. They're the fucking devil.
Yep.
They were awful. They have this thing in the FDA where at Christmas time, they have this thing called clearing their desks. So they want to clear their desks of any drug applications so they can just put them to market. Which means that so many drugs go onto the market, and they're not safe. There's not enough efficacy. Like in Europe, drugs go through like 12, 20 years trials, where in America, like sometimes it's a year, 2 years.
Yeah, get it out there.
So it's like, and I remember my stomach got really bad during this time, like, because I was like around all this crazy energy, and it was like, and it was like this place, like, no, I remember talking to one of the consultants, and I was like, why do you do this work? Why are you here? Like, you were like, this was the kind of place where at one point, Juanita and Gord, two of the big consultants, were talking, and Gord's like going through the calendar, and he's like, I can't believe it's December, whatever. Yeah, and he's like, makes you think, like, what did you do with your year? And, like, what did we do, right? And then Juanita's like, well, we saved some and we killed some, she says. Okay?
Wow.
And he's like, well, we really helped
She's
people.
being honest.
Yeah. And I was like, that's exactly what is going on here.
And they're just rolling the dice, and they're just making money, and they're telling people to take these things. And I think it is the blessing, like we said, of consciousness during recent times. If you zoom out a little bit more to this current time period, to perhaps review how hard you're taking the word of like medical professionals, understanding like where their bills are being paid and where that's coming from, and where this idea of that type of care came from. Hospitals were originally built through the industrial complex. It is to put people in further squares and industrialize the way of thinking. So keeping people sick is a sweet business. And then
it's so
selling them care. Yeah. So you're the good guy, and you're the compassionate one. So poison the pets and then be the one to come collect their body. So it's like, it's a fucking sweet racket. Yeah. Like, it's really working for everyone involved, because you got to remember the slave and the master need each other. So again, it's up to people to like, I don't feel well. God bless, you have your little rituals with your physician, good. Is there anything else that you can do as a being to tune into your health? Or do you just go listen to a man in a coat?
I think there was a newspaper clipping. I think this was in the Globe and Mail at some point that was like, a patient was like, doctor, I'm sleeping horribly. I feel this, and this. And then the doctor was like, I want you to get 8 hours of sleep, drink plenty of water.
There you go.
Take time to rest and meditate. Like all of these things. And then come back and see me in 6 weeks or something like that. And then he came back and he was like, hey, I'm feeling good or whatever. And it was like, we didn't need to treat any of your symptoms. You just needed to create more structure around how you nourish yourself.
But that physician didn't take that nice, when you worked at a weed store and that nice rep came by and gave you some nice weed and maybe even took you for lunch, you're not going to sell that weed more? So that physician just told 2 or 3 lobbyists for drug companies that took him and his wife for 3 steak dinners last week, no.
Yeah. No, that physician
so-
got fired 2 weeks later.
That physician
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
I'm sure.
is the exception, is what I feel.
Well, we know doctors who have left the field because
That's
they're
right.
just like, I can't
Oh yeah, there was
ethically do
so-
this.
There was so many during COVID. It was
There were so
amazing.
many, and even
then they
now,
got
just
us-
like based on regular
Yeah.
pharmaceuticals, it's just
It's like how it's like when you think about
So it's good overall.
the basis of a lot of the basis of a lot of these medications are just based on, like, that's the whole game of these, I guess the colonialist or this
Industrial complex, yeah.
is to steal from the creators, from the artists,
Totally.
from the farmers. What was the witch hunt about? It was stealing their knowledge, killing them, like literally murdering them, stealing all their knowledge, and then repackaging it back to us at a really high cost. So same thing, like, you take the farmers off the land, you steal their knowledge, then you sell back food that's poisoned, and then they can't make enough money to buy that really expensive poisoned food. It's their whole game. They have nothing without us, whatever these entities are, because it feels very like
Draconian.
it's like gross, you know what I mean? Like
So that's the low vibrational
the
structure
low
of society. So I'll tell you something. No Frills made a great pivot recently. So you can see, like, they bought like really nice grocery stores that were like old Sobeys or old like nicer grocery stores, and they just slapped their name on it, and it's like basically the same store. So they've done that a couple of times now to get into that like city trendy marketplace a little bit. But if you go to the original No Frills, you can see the large portion of society being served exactly what they think of themselves. Lots of times things are the same cost even. But you go into a No Frills and it has that harsh overhead lighting that you get in schools, that you get in the industrial complex that you've been programmed
Offices.
to think. In offices, you just got off the SkyTrain, has the same light. They're following the little mental cycles that have been placed before them, the average matrix square person. And hey, they can be artists too. I'm just like, some of them are 9 to 5 or some of them are art. It's the vibration you're thinking on. So you look at like the GP, the general population. I think we just need to boost our self-worth.
Exactly.
Like, that's the fucking core of it all. Like,
where do we start, Ellevan and Sandra?
when we receive, you have to also let it flow through to give. So we're so focused on we're not worth it, we're not, trying to shrink that. I think there's so many complex things. What do you think?
Well, no, just that you say like the value, because that's what I've been
Self-worth.
saying this a lot recently. Like, when I went to the Unifor conference, because the CASC just joined
Yep.
Unifor as a community chapter, and when we went to their conference in September, where they announced like, oh, comedians are joining the union, and this meeting was like insane. Like, it was you walk into this room, it was like, I guess the Montreal Convention Center, fucking 1,000 people, big screens,
Wow.
guys like, union guys like that are like screaming in French, like anything you can imagine a meeting, and people crying, and it was unbelievable, right?
Wow.
And that's when I realized what we do is work. This is our work, and our work has value. So it's like that, like, when comedians are going around, it's like thinking that if I do this and I do that, I'm going to become, whatever, it's going to raise my status. But first and foremost, the work has to be valued. Yeah. And we have to, like, because that's the thing that I hate about this whole fucking thing, this industry, is just that it's all like, you're getting famous, and it's just you. And that's where the fall is the hardest, is the deepest and the hardest, is when you think you're up on this pedestal and you did it yourself, and you're not with your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Because right now we're in this configuration of capitalism, or it's not even capitalism, but whatever it is. And it's like, there is this, quote unquote industry economy around comedy. And we're paid into, we live in this society, so there's a value to what there has to, and we have to enforce that value and keep saying this is a job, this is a work. So when I'm working, something has to, it has a value to it that I got to get paid, so I can pay for my lights and I can pay for my food, and so that's where it is. It's like, it's like taking. It's really that value. You're right, and it obviously is spiritual, but it's like sometimes you just gotta be like, people, this is how much is owed.
But it's
Totally.
that's for sure. You got to hold that feeling, and then let that feeling of how valuable you perceive it to be reflect on the presentation to people. And that's where it becomes a business. And that's the differentiator. How easy is your content to consume in that sea of options? And it's like that. Then you almost get away from the art and you become a marketer in order to play the game.
But it's like, but then on the level of like you going to do a show, you're on a show,
Yeah.
it's a comedy show.
You're performing.
There's people paying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like these are all valued.
Right.
I hate these words, but value propositions.
No,
It's
you're
like,
right. It's a business.
So, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, because we do need to get paid.
you know, I was listening to I think
1000%.
I was on TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok for a while because I run out of my storage is full. But so I was listening to this indigenous leader or person talk about that the whole way that they like. There's this way of doing things where it's like you go hunting, right? You're out. You're going to get your thing, and then you hang a piece of meat. Like you take something, but you hang a piece of meat in the tree for the next person that's coming. Nice. So that when they get there, they have something to eat. And I'm like, that's
abundance. That's abundance.
So if we always did, if that's what we have to get to, because literally, it's done. It's over, and we're too fucking tired.
Yeah.
We're tired of having to.
And doesn't it feel good?
To give,
Yeah.
Knowing that someone's going to eat your meat?
we can bless each other.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna eat your meat paws.
Like, you know what I mean? It's
No,
like,
that's great. I love that.
right.
We need to be taking care of each other more.
We really do.
Yeah.
And that means taking care of the planet. Like, we got to go back to the land. We, like, you know, we have to, because that's the other thing is, like, there's this limitless thing that goes on in these societies where anybody who's got a business idea, if they say, well, I'm going to make this fucking pen out of the discarded bones of human, whatever it is. Oh, yeah. Or, like, it's just pure, like, whatever, it's pure junk.
Yeah.
Well, if you could sell 500,000 of them, you can make it.
Yeah.
No. There should never even be the possibility of making something out of junk. That shouldn't even just shouldn't exist. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Wait,
that seven.
are you? That sounds like you're not against like recycling or upcycling. Am I misunderstanding you?
Well, I'm not against it, but it's like if we didn't have junk in the first place.
No junk in the first place. Okay, that
No,
makes
it's like
sense.
that. It's like that indigenous concept, like 7 generations. You look 7 generations back to look 7 generations forward. So in anything that you do, are you taking care of 7 generations ahead of you? If you're making a piece of shit fucking, keychain, that ain't like it depends. Or you're
Totally.
making a really great keychain. That's the difference.
But then, yeah, like consumerism is just like Dollarama, Temu, these places that are like super cheap, fast fashion, gonna get rid of it, gonna dump it at Value Village for sure within the year.
That's really, really,
like,
really bad.
And if you only have a certain amount of money and you want something, that's where you go.
I just want to go back to Is it Kasek? One day I was having breakfast with my family, and it was just some restaurant downtown, and this family, I think they were Ethiopian, came in, and the wife was wearing they were beautiful, and the wife was wearing a brown, I guess you call it a cassock, just a dress,
long flowy situation.
They looked amazing.
Yeah.
It was brown, it was simple, it was not complicated, and it was you could tell the materials were good. Do we need anything beyond? Because we don't need.
I don't know. Some people express in the way that they wear items. Like some people get really creative with how they present themselves, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, but again, is it junk?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really into shopping for clothes at used stores right now. Yeah, it's cool.
No, I know, because
the new stuff isn't doing it for me. I walk in and I'm like, this shit.
Unless it's stuff made in Toronto. I bought this the other day. It's called Province of Canada. It's a store in my neighborhood, and it's this T-shirt's made here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
That's
it's still a
nice.
square.
That's
but,
crazy.
But that's what I mean. I don't want.
Nothing's made here. I don't know clothes to be made in Canada.
Yeah, that was Spadina Avenue.
We
Still is. There still are people doing it. That's
at my yoga studio, we found this woman-owned yoga brand that we wanted to come in. They were in like Winnipeg or something, or I can't remember. Not in Ontario, but we ordered from them, and then after we got the materials, it said made in China. And so we went back onto their website, and it was our bad, but they have a whole portion where they talk about how they're like ethically making these clothes in
Shut
China.
up.
And I'm like, wow, that's wild. But they promote themselves as like a Canadian brand.
Like, yeah, I was, one of the, when I was in marketing, like one of the jobs I had, I worked at this one place called the Marketing Store. And one of their clients was McDonald's. They made all the what are the kids' meals?
Toys?
The toys.
Oh.
The kids'
Yeah.
toys. So these executives come in and they go and they're presenting like, I don't know, it was jerseys. Like you bought the kids' meal and you got like a Toronto Maple Leaf or a Montreal
A little
Canadian,
jersey.
Little jersey. And so they're like, oh, and this is the factory in China where these little things get made. And then I was like, I raised my hand and I was like, are those people in that factory? Are they paid right? And they were just bothered by my question.
Of course they were.
Because, like, you're coming to my office in Toronto to tell me where these little fucking jerseys are being made so that you could I was like, ew. And, like, the woman, like, the executive was from the U.S. She was just like, yeah, that's the way it is. She's from, you know what I mean? Like, like just like Barb, whatever the fuck she is. It's like, oh, yeah, that's what we do. And I was like, fuck you. You're made out of, like, it was like we got to eat some, they brought some McDonald's food and it was the time of the veggie burger, and I literally was like, "Oh, this is cardboard.
Yeah.
You just gave me cardboard."
Yeah.
So that was the first time I think they went to China to make these things. This is like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So the first time they're like, "Oh, we found a factory in China to make these little fucking stupid fucking," And I was like, "You can't justify this for me on any level." And of course, you ask these questions, and people get very upset at you because like they have the video of like how clean it is. I'm like, please.
No, yeah. That
Or,
was
like, how
like
good
the
it
first
is.
day
They
it was
had
ever
someone
open.
clean it.
Yeah.
They had someone clean it
No,
every day. Doesn't mean they
And we also watch Dragon's Den often, and I love the show. I think it's great. But they basically, when the cost of the product and the retail price is too close to one another, they're like all of the dragons are like, we need to get this cost down. Like, can you outsource to a different country, basically?
buy them in
And
more
it's like,
bulk. Yeah.
Yeah, taking
I'm
like leaving the USA work and getting it somewhere else to make money.
And this is the effect that it has. This is the other thing I learned when I went to that conference in the fall at in Montreal.
India.
So they represent workers from all the like so many airlines, robotics, like
Wow.
everything like bell people, like technicians. It's quite vast. And there's this like ocean like not an ocean liner, but some kind of like a water craft that I don't know what we use it here for, but I don't remember what exactly it was, but it was made here forever. Okay. Then they outsource it to China. When it comes back to Canada, the crews have to go in overtime, double time, just to make it
just as much.
just to make it work. So all of this idea of outsourcing, like I realized, it is not about cost saving. It's about these people, these elites making deals amongst themselves to make money. Has nothing to do, oh, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to make it not work and to make it like last nothing so that whoever these people are can make more money. That's horrifying. That's really bad. Like, and the cost comes on us because now that the crews here have to work overtime just to get that thing to work. So, then they're firing people. They're letting people go.
Okay, I just thought of the perfect person for you to open for. We play this game called What Could Go Right. And I think that you would absolutely crush it and become very wealthy on your own afterwards from your own show if you open for like Bill Burr.
Really?
Because he's a ripper like you, and he spits the facts of like blue collar life. Like you would crush a Bill Burr audience.
Oh, it's true.
That could go right. I could see Bill Burr being like, fucking Sandra.
Oh my, yeah.
That'd be fun, eh?
Yeah, I know.
You'd get a lot of fans from that crowd. That's like me opening for Eminem.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you. Like you hate me. That's fine. But like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a big bunch of
You
people.
play this game every time with comedians?
No, what? Just us in our life.
Yeah,
when
him
we're
and
in
I
our
play
kitchen.
What Could Go Right.
Oh, okay. So how does it go? Like,
We're like, okay, what could go right? And then we'll generally make it up for each other. So I'll be
Freestyle.
like, oh, you're going to meet
Great producer.
another artist who you get along so well with and you really jive, and you guys are going to have a session, and it's going to be one of the most brilliant songs that it's going to feel alive in your body, and your voices are going to sound like miraculous turtle doves, and then the song will reach 7 billion views on Spotify, and you'll make like $200.
and it's called Turtle Doves.
that's hilarious.
Just things like that was probably like a little exaggerated,
That's very
obviously,
funny.
but like what could go right? Like what could go right for us, and just
So we
to
just
dream
did
about it.
Yo, we
That's
did
so
that with
nice.
you. What could go right for you? It's like just like someone sends Bill Burr's coming to Toronto. He's looking for openers. Someone sends him one of your clips online. He's like, that's perfect. Good. Booker. They toss you, a G to do the opening or whatever that night, but then he's going to go on the rest of the tour, and he's like, I don't have an opener for these cities. You want to do Boston with me?
I mean, Steph told us that's how she became recognized, was because
Yeah.
she opened for him.
There you go.
And she's so fantastic.
Yeah.
She put out her first special, I think, on Netflix.
Yeah, it comes out in June.
Oh,
Winners.
nice.
See, winners.
Yeah.
Celebrate
I
each
know.
other. I think that's the key here is like, let's just fuck the systems going on, whatever. Like, they're going to do their thing, but like, stick with the trees, bless each other as much as you
Yeah.
can, and celebrate and take cues from success. I think that's been a nice,
Yeah.
core. Like, we're probably like
Yeah,
going on too.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
It's been a
But it's
Because
good.
it felt like such a good
Well, we just
conversation.
I know.
flow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
so
is
flow.
good.
It's so nice to
Yeah.
have you.
Oh my
Appreciate
God,
you.
come
So
on.
great to have
Come
you.
on.
Do you want to leave the people with anything?
Drop a bar on people for if you have
Anything
advice
you want.
to live a fulfilling life
or
whatever
whatever.
you want.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. Just like anything.
Anything you want to say?
Just when you're out in the city and you see like an eyelash or an eyebrow business, imagine a tree there. Or like look at all the businesses that are like, you're wasting my motherfucking real estate.
Right.
Put trees there.
Put trees there. Mentally put trees
Like, why
there.
do we have an eyebrow bar? Are we kidding right now? Why do we have an eyebrow bar? Like, where are we even? What the fuck? A Starship Galaxy? Like, okay, if I'm on Star Trek, I could expect an eyebrow bar in the fucking, what do they call
Right.
those ships?
Doesn't make-
Okay, there's a bar, but
Yeah.
come on.
I walk by this little place that says "Get the Perfect Lips," and it pisses me off every time I walk by it because I'm like, "What's wrong with my lips?"
Exactly.
You know?
And why are you taking up real estate to give
have
somebody
trees.
perfect lip? Yeah, exactly.
I love to have trees.
Plants
Because
and
guess what? If you go and hug the tree and you put your lips up against the bark, your lips are gonna soften and they're gonna get plumpier.
there you go.
You know what I mean?
That's perfect.
Like it's like this Botox shit. I'm so like I can't. If you like, it's poison in your body.
I love you
Don't
guys.
do it.
Subscribe.
That was a good.
Like
It's a
and-
good rip. We ended on Botox.
We're gonna put where we can find you in the box because you're gonna find Sandra in the box.
Stay
She's
in the
box.
box and tell everyone
In the
about
square,
it.
the square.
Sorry.
My
I
bad.
know,
The
the square in the
square. We're not putting
Look
her
at
in
Sandra's
the box.
box.
You're gonna follow her
Yeah,
square.
this is the episode.
Okay?
In the
If you're
square.
gonna be in the square, look at Sandra's square. Look at us in the square. Look at Sandra through the square.
Yeah. Find Sandra's square in 11's Wins Podcast Square.
And thank you so much for being like such a strong voice. I really admire it. I don't think that I've really found my voice in comedy yet, and I know that like there are beautiful women that I have to look up to keep going and develop it and search it and become strong like you. So thanks
my
for
God.
for everything you do for the
You guys are
community
beautiful.
and yeah, I love you.
I love you. I love you both.
Love you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thanks
keep,
for being
keep
here.
Keep doing spreading your ray of light.
Okay.
God bless.